And welcome to this YouTube series. So this time I will look a bit more at the Harmony Bloom by Mario Nieto world. So I looked at it in the last video, but I'm gonna dig a little bit deeper this time. And I'm also gonna show you how you can hook it up to Max4Live if you own that. So in Max4Live, you should download all the free Max4Live devices that you can get off the Ableton website first. So the thing that you should get is the Max API devices. And you can see here, it's the Control 1 LFO that I'm going to show you this time. So make sure you have that installed. And the envelope follower is also nice to have. So make sure you have the Max API from the Ableton Live website before you start. Or if you don't have Max4Live, you can maybe look at this and see if it's any inspiration to you, if you want to get maybe Max4Live in the future. I recommend it. I really recommend it. I use it a lot, both for composing and live music. So I'm going to hook it up to Pigments this time, the Harmony Bloom device here. So as you can see, MIDI in from Harmony Bloom, and not pre or post effects, but Harmony Bloom here in the input channel. So that means when I press play now, if I have this button enabled, the Harmony Bloom should start in sync with my DAW. And there we go. So I have here it's a preset called Dulcet Tonalities. It's from the Ambient Explorations sound bank that you can buy from the Pigments store. And I edited a bit. I removed the effects here, except a little bit of shimmer, because I wanted to add my own effects. And yeah, as you can see, it's playing here from the Harmony Bloom, as should be expected. And then I have Primal Tap on it with the classic algorithms, which can create quite a lot of feedback if you just like that, you see? So, and then the Black Hole by Eventides, which is a really nice reverb if you want like really long, lush sort of pads. You can see here, like. All right. So first, I want to. So I'm picking notes from like the minor scale note collection. I want to change that, but I'm going to use the Max API Control 1 LFO to change scales. So I turn the LFO on. Let's see here. And I'm going to have time as frequency because I don't want it to be... it could be synced, it doesn't really matter. And then the waveform here is going to be the noise. And it's not going to be any regularity here. And then I'm sending that to the same track, like Harmony Bloom. And here I have to find the note collection. So now it should change the note collection based on the waveform that I get from this Max API device. So now you see it's changing it quite a lot. It's going really fast, right? I could change that to maybe here, it goes a little bit slower, smooth it out here even. But it's changing, as you can see, it's still changing quite a lot. Like it's moving very fast between different note collections. Things you can do here is to either you can do like a curve. So if you have the curve down, you're gonna get more of the lower values, and the opposite. And then we have compression. So if you turn the compression down, you should get mostly notes in, or like values in the middle. So now it's like hovering around 500. And then 100 is going to go between really low and really high values. So that's like, I've added that to maybe like once a sustain pedal. So I get like on and off notes on a sustain pedal, but you know, it's kind of, yeah. Jitter is just to get like this extra kind of noisy, so it jumps. So you can actually use jitter on a sine wave. So the sine wave is going to go up and down just as normal, but then it's going to jitter a little bit, so it's not going to be super regular, which is kind of interesting. So let's go back here, and then you can also choose the minimum and maximum. And when you do that, you're going to get less extreme numbers. Right, so if I have 15, so now it's hovering around the minor sort of sometimes augmented note collections. It's probably still a bit too much, but I'm just going to see how it sounds. Like, you want it to be varied without being like it's random. You know, you want it, you want it to be a kind of that it's a thought behind it. But then you sort of create this variation so it doesn't get boring, right? You can add another LFO here, and I'm going to have this in the higher curve, so it's mostly going to be high values, and then kind of slow. Now maybe I'll have the bass 1/2 or something. So now I get sine wave. That is mostly going to be higher values, but it sometimes goes down like kind of quickly. And I'm going to put this on the harmony bloom again, and pick the probability. So now I have like, as you can see, when it's like 100% probability, it's going to play the notes, but it's also going to take like breaks in between, based on that LFO that is, you know, turning down the probability sometimes. I'm going to make it a little bit slower. So you make these kind of waves of probability within the harmony bloom with the Max4Live device, which I think is really cool. Next step, let's play around with this primal tab from Sound Toys. So the feedback here I thought could be like a kind of cool effect. So if you hook this LFO up to the primal tab feedback, so A and B are linked. So maybe you should have like the highest that's 90, so it doesn't go all crazy. And then you can have compression down, so it's mostly going to be like values in the middle, but sometimes it sort of goes above that, like that, you see? But it's also, yeah, it's not really random because I sort of I set the parameters so it's like random within certain parameters, which is not the same as complete randomness, right? I think there's a setting here in black hole as well, the gravity function, which sort of changes the character of the reverb. So you hear like it's kind of... When it goes to 0 and back, it's sort of... You can hear like an audible sort of change in character, so I don't want that, but I want it to sort of hover between different kinds of gravity settings. So if I have 100% mix here, you can hear that it's kind of like creating these really nice movements in the reverb. So you just create another of these LFOs basically, but set the minimum to maybe 51. And then hooked it up to the Then you have like different sort of, you have like a disturb function in the Pigments. That could be, in Pigments you have to configure it to make parameters available to live. It's not, it doesn't have it automatically in Pigments, so I'm just gonna move this, and then I have the macro one. Put another one of these. I'm just creating loads of these, like this is just for this purpose, okay? So I have the curve down, it should mostly be kind of lower notes. Lower values, I mean, and then send it to Pigments and the macro one. Smooth it out a little bit. You could even hook something up to the note minimum and maximum in the same way if you have really narrow parameters. Because if you see, if I go down here, like, but you can also play these on just a keyboard by just sending notes to it. You can't see it, but I'm playing now the D and playing the C. I can go up to G. So that feedback is never going to take over completely because it's always going to go back down sometimes. So I know that I have this kind of range where the feedback stays in control and it doesn't go crazy, which I really like. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you this time, just how you can use Ableton Live, Max4Live, in a really interesting way to create more modularity within the Ableton system. Doesn't matter, you could send it to a send, for example. So like how much do you want to send to a certain effect or something like that. So it's really versatile. Yeah, thanks for watching this time, and hope to see you next time for the next video. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but yeah, you will see.